All right, guys, let's just jump into it and people can jump in when they want to. So it is August 19th, 2022, and we are going to be dipping into Redlight's new feeless Scarlet chain. I'm going to go through the white paper with you. It's not a very intensive white paper. It's very light. I know that they had an audit, but they are not releasing some of the stuff in the audit. I asked to see it. They wouldn't send it to me. I do want to check it out and just get some more details on what the audit went over and if there's any issues. But let's go ahead and I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Normally I do a Sensei chat today, but since this is launching tomorrow, I felt that this was more important than jumping into CNS today. So I'm going to put CNS on Monday, and then I'll probably do another chat on Friday with another project. But I felt like you guys needed to know this information before it happens, and so that's why we're here. Let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys. Basically, here we got Redlight, download custom profile picture. There's a lot of information on their website, guys. But here is... Okay, so here's where you need to go make an account, guys, if you're gonna be buying this tomorrow. I'm not gonna give a referral code because I really don't like making money off of people. I think it's tacky in a way. So I'm just going to give you the website. Go make an account. You're gonna need to verify your ID and all that stuff like that if you're gonna want to put over $500 a day on it. So depending what you want to buy in this tomorrow, it launches at 6 a.m. in the morning PST, so it's 9 a.m. Eastern. You're going to need USDT to swap to it as well. They're going to launch with 21 million tokens, and they're saying they're launching at $1. I asked Indy if they're launching with what kind of liquidity and blah blah blah. He said 21 million tokens, but it has a max supply of 210 million tokens. Okay, just getting into this white paper. It's not going to be a very long white paper, guys. It's only 12 pages, and most of this is some stuff we already know. So this white paper outlines Redlight chain. Red LC aims to solve the blockchain trilemma in scalability, centralized, and security. If you saw my chat on A0, we went through what the blockchain trilemma is. Just to catch you guys up, if you're not sure what the blockchain trilemma is, usually if you have, let's say, scalability and decentralization, your security is maybe not as great. Or if you have great security and great decentralization, usually you can't scale as well. So being able to have all three is really the mecca of crypto, is what you're really trying to find. And you have projects like A0 that are solving for it all. And then you have Redlight chain who claims to have solved it. They claim this is a gasless transaction. You can go on the testnet and do transactions and pay zero fees. If you are minting an NFT and you want to make sure your mint goes through, you can actually pay in gas and have it go up. As of now, I know about 4 or 5 projects being launched on here on their website. I think it says 4. Sphere is moving their liquidity over onto this, and it's something to pay attention to. And this is a all new blockchain. So let's get into this stuff, guys. So introduction: a gasless solution to a prong problem. Redlight chain is a layer 1 EVM Ethereum virtual machine compatible blockchain. So guys, what this means is if there's an Ethereum project, they're going to be able to move it over to Redlight if they choose to. However, it introduces revolutionary changes to the traditional EVM compatible blockchains. Typically speaking, EVM compatible blockchains are trying to solve scalability, centralization, and security. We at Redlight Finance feel that we have accomplished a solution to these problems through our innovation, through this white paper, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so decentralized, security, and scalability. Most blockchains try to boast to perfection. This is still talking about them solving through all three things. Let's really get into what it's going to do, though, because that's really why you're here. Scalability is a vital part of any organization's business or idea. It refers to how much the said entity can grow while maintaining core functionality, utility, and solution. For a blockchain, scalability refers to blockchain maintaining its transaction block speeds and output whilst growing and expanding its users. I was told that the chain can do 4,500 transactions a second. If you look at something like Visa is at 20,000 transactions a second. So they're definitely going to be able to do as many transactions as you want. You shouldn't have any issue with that speed. That's a ton of transactions per second. Most blockchains are like 2, 4, 5,000. Some can scale even higher, but this looks pretty good so far. The problem with traditional blockchains is, in fact, that real-world industries, companies do not want to have to pay gas or have their consumers pay gas just to perform transactions. As you on Ethereum, you can pay as high as a couple $100 a transaction, but normal transaction fees are anywhere from $10 to $20 or $30. No matter how minute the transaction may be, I don't know if that's right. No matter how minute the transaction may be individually, the cost of these transactions or industry company wide scale can add up. The education and explanation of gas fees can also serve as an added barrier of entry while expanding blockchain technology to companies and customers alike, or consumers alike. Both retail investors and industries do not want undertaking. Therefore, by being a gasless blockchain, this allows us to target industries that can otherwise never have given blockchain integration a second thought. I did ask somebody how long they've been working on this. I guess one of the developers has been working on this for several years, so it's good that they didn't just try to do this in the last 5 or 6 months, because it's really hard to build a full-fledged blockchain in that amount of time. You got to give it up to the team that they've been putting their heads down and building. Scaling it with gaming, so they're just talking about wanting to get into gaming's multi-billion-dollar thing. This really doesn't help us, but it says Redlight solves the two biggest barriers, gas and price congestion. So they really want to aim their blockchain at games and NFTs. Attracting the retail market. Scaling within already established cryptocurrency dominant audience is typical with blockchains. RedLC is no different in this sense. However, we also aim to accomplish scalability outside the norm. Due to our blockchain technology, it allows us to not only attract the retail market for buying, selling coins, tokens, etc., but any company protocol who utilizes RedLC as their governance token now has an easier avenue to attract their own retail audience. RedLC simplified the overall decentralized finance barrier to entry gap. Education. Educating an individual that is interested in gaming that they can also play your game and earn cryptocurrency in return is a relatively easy to understand concept. However, explaining that each transaction they make will be subject to gas fees. And guys, let me tell you this, if you're in the US or your country and you have to keep track of your transaction, every time you mint an NFT or you are playing the game and you're staking or minting, those are all taxable transactions. So you need to keep track of all that. I use Coinly to do all that stuff, and I can go over some of that stuff with you and how labor intensive it is, but it is extremely labor intensive to keep track of all of it. So just understand, if you are doing this gaming stuff and you are supposed to pay taxes on it, you want to stay on it, because it really gets to a point where you get to where I am, where I have to go through 25,000 transactions a couple different times in a week, and you get mentally drained and exhausted. Just wanted to put that out there. So this really doesn't get into how the chain's going to work. So let's just try to find that, right? Because they're still talking about gaming and how Redlight's going to help that. We at Redlight Finance believe that RedLC can be a crucial link between crypto and non-crypto worlds. So that's what you want to see. You want to see industries coming in, building on the chain, how to maintain transaction and block speeds. Whilst the overall blockchain scales through an adoption, it is necessary for it to also scale through validation. Otherwise, we can end up with the blockchain crashing and users facing downtime. The solution to do this is similar to the reason Bitcoin almost never has network issues. It's the absolute mass network of proof of work machines. For Redlight LC or RedLC, the scaling and validators is essential in growth of the blockchain. And we're also going to go through the nodes on this as well, guys. They have a bunch of new nodes that you can do to help support the network and get paid. Validators are node endpoints that get paid to confirm transactions on the blockchain. Our plan is with growth and adoption of the blockchain, we will release batches of validators with the available for purchase instead of releasing all validators at once and restricting growth. This allows us to grow with our blockchain during the testing period. So they learned something. They learned something about having people just being able to make 500-600 nodes, and how you get enough nodes on a system and it just can't keep up with rewards and it overall crashes. Part 2, decentralization. It is typically organization or entity, things or process. Hold on. Let me spit my gum out. Sorry. Be controlled by a single central entity. Decentralization in a blockchain takes that controlling power and spreads it out into multiple people all over the world. These are nodes, computers validating transactions, right, guys? In RedLC, this is done through validators, nodes governing the information on the blockchain instead of it being controlled by a central entity. Most EVM1 compatible blockchains operate like this through a variety of different methods, such as proof of work, proof of stake, and proof of authority. RedLC falls under the latter, POA, right? So what we want to do is look up what's proof of authority. Most people aren't familiar with this, so I'm going to go ahead and pre-search it, then I click on Google so I can get my stuff. So proof of authority is a consensus method that gives a small and designed number of blockchain actors the power to validate transactions or interactions with the network to update its more than less distributed registry. You have multiple people validating transactions instead of just one node. So that's what you like to see. All right, so here, let's get down. So this is, it shows you what? So this is proof of work, right? The computer system trying to solve a mathematical equation. If you solve it, you get paid. Proof of stake here is all of these computer staking, validating transactions, and this is what proof of authority looks like, right? So here's this, and all of these different nodes are validating the same transactions to make sure it's accurate, right? Security. Blockchains as a technology through cryptography are extremely secure, but nothing is impervious. Adaptability, upgradability, and flexibility are important factors for all technology to maintain its utmost security. RedLC applies these three factors by maintaining a dedicated security team to monitor the network and server activity. I asked how big this team was. I did not get an answer to it. Maybe Fancy knows and I can ask. Fancy, do you know how big the team is that's going to be making sure that the network is secure and nothing bad happens?
He mentioned that in an AMA he did, and I don't have that number for you, but
it
is in there. So somebody did ask him, and he did say that they had this many members on the team doing this and this many members doing that. I don't remember what it was.
Fantastic. As long as they are on the ball on this, that's great. Thank you, Fancy. However, most blockchain security issues are not necessarily...
What was the question?
Oh, the question is, was that Crypto Keys? Who's talking? The question is, do you know how big the team is that's making sure the network is going to be secure? Like when it talks about this makes it extremely difficult for the affected network to target areas. For example, a malicious validator can be kicked off. No way home. How many people are going to be maintaining the security team and monitoring the network and server activity? If you don't know, just say you don't know and I can move on. Okay, fun stuff. I do not know who asked it.
Sorry, I was lagging a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, that was me.
Do you know?
I thought I knew the answer. That I don't know the answer. I thought the question was something else. You were lagging out there for me for a second.
Oh, no worries. Sorry. Yeah, I should probably restart my laptop. It's probably all the windows I have open. I apologize. It's all good. Let's just move on here. Let's get through this. However, most blockchain security issues are not necessarily hacks. So this is why proof of authority is pretty solid. But however, most blockchain security issues are not necessarily hacks, but more of a social engineering exploitation. As mentioned before, nothing is impervious. However, risk can be mitigated. Proof of authority allows us to utilize its decentralized nature and not rely on a single entity, but rather spread the burden of risk between all of the validators. So when he says validators here, guys, they're just talking about nodes, right? This makes it extremely difficult to affect the network via a targeted attack. For example, a malicious validator can be kicked off the network by other validators through decentralized voting process and proof of authority. I wish they would have got into more of this and how that's going to work, but they really don't, but it's okay. Network attacks, the pocket system. Network attacks can be common in blockchains to slow them down or completely kick them offline. In traditional blockchains, the cost of gas mitigated the issue by requiring more gas during periods of congestion, making transactions expensive, which in turn decreases the total amount of transactions. Simply put, users of the blockchain may not want to spend the required amount of gas while the network is busy, as it can be more expensive, which allows the network to naturally clear and return to normal operation. With RedLC being a gasless blockchain, we do not have a means for a natural solution like this, which is why we have developed the Pocket System. The Pocket System TM is an intelligent queuing mechanism that allows for the split of transactions to alleviate congestion. The Pocket System can automatically recognize network attacks and specifically reroute them to a specific pocket or validator without affecting the rest of the network. So here, this is an example. They have cute little pictures, RedLC here, validator, during congestion, validator second way. This is the Pocket System. This visual really doesn't paint a great picture. Like I can't really tell everything here, but I guess everything's surrounded by validators, and here's the Pocket System. The future of crypto gasless. Redlight Finance has achieved the solution to having a truly gasless blockchain. Unlike other proclaimed gasless blockchains, RedLC does not require users to stake governance coin to receive a governance token to use for gas, which is still technically free, or to have the gas fee as low as 0.00 whatever per transaction. As an example, and label this gasless, which during times of congestion can increase. We have truly gasless blockchain that requires 0 gas per transaction. This is 0 as in free, like oxygen or sunshine. Amazing. We've achieved this by utilizing a proprietary, I hate my tongue always falls short on that, proprietary proof of authority system as depicted in the graphic below. I guess here's the chain, here's the validators, and smart contract goes in here, lock, pocket system. As you can see, they don't really get too technical on some of this stuff. So this is why I was trying to ask a bunch of questions, but Fancy's here, and there's a couple other people in the chat that might have some more answers to some of this stuff. Technical specifications during test time: 2 seconds, transaction speed, block speed, fast. Gasless fee. So here's the starting supply of the 210 million tokens. Every 4 years, they're going to have a halving of the tokens. Fancy, can you speak to the halving? What is that going to look like? I know Indiana said they're going to start with 21 million tokens, but in 4 years from now, so it goes down to 105 million. What happens to 105 million tokens? They just get burnt?
No, validators that get halved.
Got it. Oh, okay. So got it. Okay. So rewards being paid out.
So
got it.
Validators get paid, and then in 4 years they get halved.
Got it.
4 years they get halved.
Got it. So the 21 million starting supply, the rest of it's going to go to basically validator rewards or other things. That's what it sounds like.
That is a good question, because I know there's gonna be more. I don't know how they're putting more supply in, but yes, some of those are the validators, not all of them, and they're gonna somehow put more supply in as they launch their own maybe sex and then some other things, because I know there's burn mechanisms, and if everything went crazy, Alex said that everything could burn in the first year, which would be very unlikely. It's something they would have to take off like crazy.
Yeah.
But they have other methods of bringing in that supply. I don't know the answer to that, though. I can't remember. Do you know, Fancy?
No, I don't have the answer for that. I'm not that technical on that kind of stuff. I do know that we get halved. There's a burning mechanism for everything that we're doing, even when they do the Scarlet chain nodes, and you have to use Red LC. I think half of that gets burned. Half of your Red LC you use get burned.
And the validators started paying out 8 Redlight coins a day, and then so when it halves, it'll be 4, and then in 4 years it'll be 2, and then 1, and so on.
Yeah, we're going to jump into that white paper in just a second. I just want to get through this, and then we'll get into here. So maybe it explains it. I went through this one time, but let's see if it explains a little bit better. In order to continue growth of the crypto market, we felt that it's important to grow outside of the crypto market conditions, which are typically heavily linked to the market movements of Bitcoin. We aim to achieve this deviation of the norm through our innovation, or in particular through our burn plan. This burn plan consists of starting with a total supply of 210 million Red LC and eventually burning down to 21 million. So let's say you'd have to go once, twice, 3 times. It looks like it's going to take, 12 to 16 years to get down to that supply amount, depending on if they just burned it regular every 4 years, halfway, it would take that amount of time. But it would be interesting to see if it happens faster. How can Red LC be burnt? Red LC can be burnt in numerous ways. To start off, the main way will be burning via our optional gas feature, right, guys? So this is what I was talking about earlier. If you want your transaction to go faster, you can pay in more gas fees. And so that is when I guess they're going to burn some tokens. It doesn't exactly say exactly how much, but although our blockchain is technically gasless, we have included a feature that allows you to opt in to paying gas in order to potentially speed up your transaction. With current technology in place, most crypto ecosystems have already built around an establishment of paying gas. Restricted to 0 could limit the onboarding of a big part of the crypto industry. Instead of gas going everywhere else, we decided it would be best to have it burnt in order to better feed the ecosystem, the entire ecosystem. While gas is optional, we highly recommended maintaining 0 gas for day-to-day transactions. However, using optional gas can be considered a tool to skip the queue. For example, if there's an NFT minting, so this is the example I gave you earlier, guys. If there's an NFT that you really want, you can put your gas up to really make sure that you get that NFT. Keep in mind, when users do opt to pay the optional gas fee, this does further help the entire Red LC ecosystem in the long run by helping to reduce circulating supply, which in turn, economically speaking, should increase the value of the overall chain. The optional gas feature will be the sole way of burning Red LC to begin with. However, we at Redlight will be implementing features to assist this in some of our future projects that will be launched on RedLC. What happens when the supply reaches 21 million? Great question. Users will still be able to use optional gas. However, this will be no longer be burnt. Instead, it'll be awarded to users who own and operate RedLC validators. When it eventually gets here, people that are operating nodes are going to get paid more because you already had some halflings and people won't be making as much. Now people can be making a little bit more depending. Fancy, do you know how many total nodes they're gonna or validators they're gonna end up selling?
I believe that the total nodes. The cap is what 3,000, right?
3,000.
No, it's 2,900, I think.
2,900.
2,900. Yeah. So they've got approximately. They did 2 batches of 100, and then they had some people that they partnered with and had about 50 validators there. So they've got about 250 validators out right now.
And these are what 10? These were $10,000 a piece, right?
Yeah. The initial round was 5, and the second round was 10. So the first 100 was 5,000 for people who had a max wallet and had over an R&D and maybe were I don't know, wherever else. Some people won a little contest that they had, got into the $5,000 batch, and pretty much it was pretty much people with max wallets and anybody on the team that might want one as far as admins or mods or something like that. There was a list of how they did it, and then people that won their little whatever their program was they had.
Okay.
Contest is what it's called. Yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you, my friend.
And then the other one was the whitelist. It was the second batch was you applied for it, and then there was a drawing of all the people, and they took 100 people.
All right. Thank you, sir. There are going to be, it sounds like there's about, I don't know, 2,650 nodes left over for people to buy as they roll them out slowly. And we're going to get into that other white paper here in a second, guys. Give me a second. Conclusion. By being completely and trust gasless, it allows RedLC, the first blockchain that can be mass integrated into real business whilst simultaneously being operated on the traditional EVM sense smart contracts and NFTs. That's a plus. World business will not have to worry about paying pocket system. So you see how the white paper is not as detailed as if you look at like the Ethereum white paper or Ripple or any XRP or any of these other ones, you're going to have a 40-50 page white paper that really gets into some of these more keener details. That's pretty much all we have. I'm sure they're going to redo this because it's not a very impressive white paper, guys. I stare at white papers all day long through different projects, and there's a lot of questions that still remain through this. But here is the node white paper. Okay, so Scarlet Chain's white paper presented by Redlight Finance. Scarlet Chain's, I guess they like the eagle sword through the snake. Double snake. Scarlet Chain. Table of contents. All right, so table of contents. What is Scarlet Chains? So Scarlet Chains is a passive reward system tailored for Redlight coin through NFT technology. Sustainable tokenomics and dynamic contract functions. Scarlet Chains is designed to reward its users on a stable basis starting at $20, with the potential for the stable price to increase over time. Similar protocols to Scarlet Chains have usually referred to this type of system as nodes, but we will be referring to nodes as chains. That is fucking confusing. I'm sorry. I'm tired. The Scarlet Vault will be an additional feature which will allow users to potentially upgrade their nodes or chains through a risk-reward system. What are nodes? We know what nodes are. NFT integration. NFT technology integrated within node smart contracts allows flexibility and sustainability with the reward generation process. In integrating nodes as NFTs increases simplicity, creating an additional value to the nodes themselves, making them a viable investment. So they're saying a viable investment because you can resell them. That's what they're talking about here, guys. We will also have NFTs that are designed to complement your nodes by smart utilities such as increasing reward production and lowering taxes. Sounds like they're going to sell NFTs and raise more money, and you will be able to get more rewards, which is the older model, but it's okay. Scarlet Chains breakdown. Scarlet Chains native token. So Scarlet Chains, guys, these are nodes. They're talking about nodes, right? Chains are nodes. Native token is called Scarlet token, SCAR. So there's another token here called SCAR. Scarlet Chains is operated on Redlight Chain. A combination of 10 SCAR and 5 RedLC can be traded into creating one SCR, Scarlet Chain Red. One SCR generates 0.2 SCAR every 24 hours. So every 5 days you will get one. That means there's what, 6, 5, 6. So you're getting what, five full tokens a month, right? Is that math right? 5 days, 10 days. Oh, no, you're getting 6 tokens a month. So you're getting 6 SCR a month by running this node. Just doing the quick math here. A combination of 4 SCR and 10 Red LC can be traded to create a 1 SCP Scarlet Chain Platinum. So this is a platinum node. A SCP generates about 0.085 SCAR every 24 hours. So that is a 4x bump, right, guys? It's a 4x bump. A combination of 2 SCP and 15 Red LC can be traded to create 1 SCB, Scarlet Chain Black. And 1 SCB generates 1.8. So we have several different layers of nodes here just to go over this, guys. So obviously the Mac Daddy is the black, and interesting. So not including taxes and bonuses. Fancy, do you know what the taxes are going to be on the nodes? How much?
Yeah, that's it. You go further down.
Okay, it's in here? Okay.
It's way down there.
Thank you, man. When a user upgrades their chains, right, upgrades their nodes, they will effectively burn the nodes used in the upgrade. So when you upgrade, it's going to burn the existing node. For example, if a user has 4 SCR and upgrades them to 1 SCP, they now will only own 1 SCP. I do like that though, because then it's getting rid of nodes, and so it's getting rid of selling pressure, but it's also you're upgrading. When upgrading from SCR to SCP or SCP to SCB, you will lose any unclaimed rewards. So you want to claim your rewards before you merge this, guys, okay? So that is a huge thing, right? I know before you were going to able to merge things and do different things and not lose rewards, but this is saying that you will lose them. So claim them and then merge them. At all costs of purchasing chains are subject to change. Chain caps. Each chain subset will have a cap, right? So this is saying that the basic node cap is going to be 50, the middle one is 15, and the black is 10. Chain reward generation requirements. You are required to hold a certain amount of different chains, I wish they would just call them nodes, in your wallet to be able to produce rewards as follows. Requirements, SCR requirements, 1x SCAR. So this is just talking about the requirements if you're going to be upgrading, what you're going to need to do that. If you do not meet the relevant chain reward generation requirements, the corresponding chain will not produce rewards until you do. Oh, okay. So if you upgrade and you don't meet these requirements, you're not going to get paid. That is what it's saying. Compounding. You're able to compound your unclaimed rewards, SCAR, into SCR to avoid the, oh, here you go, 15% claim tax. You can also combine your unclaimed rewards with a SCAR in your wallet when compounding. Any remaining unclaimed SCAR will be paid out to your wallet, and you will have the 15% claim tax. I guess when you have a feeless system, they still need to maintain and pay for the team and build out the team. So this is where you're paying for that, guys, okay? You can use unclaimed rewards from SCR, SCP, and SCB. These are just the node levels, guys. Let's not get confused. To create the new SCR, but you will not be able to combine rewards from different chains to do so. Examples, cross compounding. Here's just some information if you decide to do this. You definitely want to go over this if you're going to be building out these nodes, guys. You do not want to lose money. Chain creation distribution. When chains are created, when nodes are created, the tokens used must be distributed somewhere. To assist with the stability of the token's price and ongoing development of the project, we have decided to allocate these tokens as follows. So this is where the money is going to be going. So 80% are going to go in the liquidity pool so this is it's just your same, I don't want to call it a Ponzi-nomics model, but it's your same model, right? 80% in liquidity pool, 10% treasury wallet, and then 10% to miscellaneous wallet. What is the miscellaneous wallet? Anybody know?
No answer for you.
Yeah. Marketing, a team, there's a bunch of different stuff. Like there's 5 or 6 different things that I can go to.
Hold on, what did he say here? Read the bottom of the white paper. The blockchain starts with a total 202 million per burn, comes and once optional gas. That does not. What is the burn rate besides every 4 years? When I pay...
The burn, it's a freemium model. So the burn happens from all the different projects that they have on it, and plus from the gas that people decide if they want to pay for it. That's the only thing that burns. Otherwise, it's just the halving that you have every 5 years or 4 years. It has nothing to do with the actual supply. The supply gets burnt from all the different, like SCAR and then all the other things, and then plus anyone that you decide to use optional gas. Those are the only way that burns the gas.
So it burns all of the gas?
Correct, but this one for Scar, it's burning 50% of it. That people, so when you're paying that 5 to make a red, 10 to make a platinum, and 15 to make a black, it's burning half of that.
Okay. All right.
But
this is a total different system, though.
It'll get to where it doesn't burn it, and that's going to probably take a few.
Yeah, I got it. So it's just you have 2 different tokens or multiple different tokens, multiple different nodes. It just gets a little confusing on some of this stuff. Thank you guys for explaining the stability and sustainability. After having the benefit of running our own project, Redlight Node District, and witnessing other projects in the node space, it has become clear that not only it is the sustainability of the protocol is important, but the sustainability of the price also. Very true. Learning from and aforementioned, we have implemented a unique multi-layer tax system, upkeep costs, a chain tier system, and mint burn functions to Scarlet chains. All of these functions operate to keep Scarlet chains as a project sustainable and keep the price of Scar stable for users. The unique dynamic contract functions of Scar means that we don't have a need to send tokens to the reward pool for taxes or chain creation, node creation. This function, in conjunction with our tax system, will help us keep the price of our tokens stable, and the tax system will also allow us to build upon the project's whole externally. The chain tier and compounding system, alongside the chain caps, encourages users to upgrade their chains to increase rewards. Scarlet chains will have the ability to have the stable price floor raised over time if certain requirements are met. So here is the token model for this particular situation, right? Initial token supply is 100,000. Of course, the team needs money, migration, liquidity, and then the rest of it for everybody else. Rewards pool is 75,000. Here are the taxes, tokenomics taxes. Buy tax 0, but the sell tax is where they're going to take 15%. Claim tax is also 15%. So that's 30% now, right? So when you claim, they take 15, and when you sell, they take 15. That's 30%. Rollover tax, 5%. Rollover tax is applied when users choose to roll over rather than compound. More on this on page 12. Transfer tax, and they get you 10% on the transfer tax. Man, I don't love this. Just being 100% honest with you guys. Transfer tax is applied when users transfer Scar from one wallet to another. This is to stop people from having multiple wallets, but 10% really isn't going to stop that many people. All taxes
stop that. You can actually create a new account and avoid the sell tax of 15%. And so what they're doing is making sure, so the multiple wallets, it's actually closing that loophole where I could keep, let's say I have a full max wallet and I want to start another one. Initially, without having that transfer tax, I would have to sell it first, and then, or I would just be able to transfer with 0%. But with that transfer tax, it's still cheaper than to sell it, but at least the protocol is getting 10% of that rather than the 15% versus 0.
Gotcha.
So it's to stop that loophole of people, once they have a max wallet, to just transfer over and avoid the sell tax.
Gotcha.
Make sense?
It does make sense. You got to have some taxes, I guess, but and anytime I see a bunch of taxes on a project, I just get queasy a little bit now. I guess it's just being in so many projects and seeing so many taxes and money just wasted. Thor taxes, ring tax, everything, all these different projects, strong taxes. All taxes have a distribution as follows: 80% liquidity pool. This is just talking about that. Okay, so darkness upkeep. Once a user creates a chain, and then afterwards, I'm going to ask you guys what you guys are going to do, because you guys know a little bit more about this. You've been following about this, so I'm interested to hear what your plans are for these nodes. Let me get through the rest of these papers, and we'll ask. Once a user creates a chain, there will be darkness upkeep costs associated with that. Once you create a node, there'll be darkness upkeep costs on that node. This is to ensure that users will be helping with the upkeep of the project ongoing and scaling costs depending on the user's actions at the time. Each different node will have a different upkeep cost as follows. So the Mac Daddy ones, here you go. The basic ones here, middle tier is, so the middle tier and the basic one are the same, and the black is a little bit less. Compound to users, roller functions. Okay, so it's just talking a little bit about that. Compounding. Darkness upkeep, right? Each darkness upkeep cycle is 7 days. However, the darkness upkeep cost is required to be paid per individual chain as follows. So you're paying this darkness thing every 7 days. SCR upkeep is SCR costs to be paid every 2 upkeep cycles. Okay, so here's your 14 days, 28 days. Okay. If you fall into darkness due to not paying upkeep costs, those chains will stop generating rewards until that upkeep cost can be paid. Once the upkeep cost is paid, the rewards will commence again. All upkeep costs will be paid in Scar. Claiming doesn't reset the cycle for upkeep. You can pay partial upkeep as you go, and then it will reset in the cycle. Individual chains will have individual upkeep cycles dependent on the time of creation. For example, if you create one SCR and then another SCR 10 minutes later, you'll have two separate upkeep cycles. However, once you pay the upkeep for those SCRs, they will be able to keep the same cycle timer. So it sounds like you're going to be able to pay all of your upkeep and keep your nodes out of darkness at once. If you have not generated enough rewards or do not want to compound, you will be able to pay the rollover fee, which effectively acts as if you have compounded to avoid falling into darkness. Rollover is where you can keep your unclaimed rewards and pay 5% tax. Doing this for your chains will count towards the compound rollover requirement needed to lower your darkness upkeep. You'll be able to take action per chain per day. So I guess you're going to take action per node per day, meaning you can roll over or compound each individual node type once per day. You're able to click rollover in the D app, which will roll over all of your chains, or you can select them individually to roll over. All upkeep costs have been distribution as follows. So here's the upkeep cost, blah, 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 chain enhances. As you would have gathered by now, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, and without proper maintenance, any chain can break. With Scarlet chains, we have developed several different chain links to help strengthen your chains. Redlight link. Total supply is 320 of these will be migrated from the current R&D of our IP club. Okay, so these are
300. And then the original, I'm sorry, I just muted myself. The VIPs that they sold right in the beginning, they did R&D, those are going to migrate over and those are going to turn into Redlight links. So the first 200 are those, the other 100 will be in the vault, which you haven't got to yet. So
thank you, baby girl. Functions, 15% increase rewards generated, SCR, SCP, SV, initial supply is, so Jade Link, 1200. These will be able to ring change minted through Sacrificial chain vault dust. See, this gets really confusing if you don't understand all of this at once. That's why I wanted to go through both of these papers together. Ruby Link, there's initial supply of 800. They will be able to be RNG chains minted through Sacrifice chain vault dusk. Function, 7% increases in rewards generated. Man, there's just a lot of weird stuff here. Diamond Link. So what are the links here? Are these different nodes? Additional nodes?
Yeah, so it's an additional node. You win it. So when you go into the vault, so let's say you want to try to win something different. You can take 3 reds and go into a Sacrificial vault and put them in there, and you have a possibility of getting 1 red back, 1 platinum back, or 1 black back, and then 1 Scarlet Knights, like in the Dawn vault. And then you just click it, and then it runs through the process, and it has a random number generator, and then it picks you get whatever you get. And then in the other vault, the more you put in, the more chance you have of getting something higher, like these other, like the Ruby Link, the Jade Link, and stuff like that. So you're sacrificing your nodes to see if you can win one of these upkeep to get a 15% bonus, or a 3% bonus, or a 7% bonus.
So the pimp ones are this one.
Last forever.
The pimp one is the Redlight Link, right?
Yeah, the original one is the Redlight Link that goes over, yes.
Got it. Okay. Any reason they did this, Fancy? Do you know? Like, why did they add this extra stuff?
No, Indy created the nodes.
Oh, okay.
Indy created this system. They really were just going to go with the blockchain and all that stuff. And Indy was really interested in making sure that everybody was in the node project before, and that had been a longtime supporter, that he could do this node project and get something stable for them so that they could continue earning a passive income. And he spent a couple in solitaire doing this.
All right, hold on. Let's get to go for it.
He wanted to gamify it, and by doing that too, he also wanted to get rid of certain chains. And so what he did is create that Sacrificial vault, which you have an opportunity of getting. You could trade 3 reds and just get 1 red, but you could also get a Scarlet Knight with low percentage. So they wanted to find an idea where they gamified it, but also where you could have the chance to lose some of your stuff to get rid of some of these nodes. So that was his thinking behind that.
Fair enough. Hey, it's an idea. Time will tell if it's successful and how people do this, but I haven't seen anything like this model yet, so we don't know how successful it's going to be. We hope for the project and everything around it, it is very successful. Chain enhancers continue. Full moon! Total initial supply is only 50, so you want to get mooned, basically. These will be able to RNG change minted through Sacrificial Chain Vault Dusk. Otherwise, users with a max wallet will be able to select either this or Dawn's Solace. Where do they come up with these names? Once max wallet is reached, limit of 1 per wallet, user cannot own both Full Moon and Dawn Solace. So if you wanted a Full Moon and Dawn Solace, sorry, you cannot own both. Functions, 5% increased rewards generated through this. This will just boost all of your stuff, guys. Dawn Solace, the total initial supply is 50. There will be able to, so these are the NFTs, right? These got to be NFTs. Dawn Solace and Full Moon?
Sorry, these are the NFT chain enhancers,
yes,
right?
Yes, okay.
So you can enhance your stuff. So the thing with Full Moon, though, is if you go to the Dusk Vault and you try to, say you put in 3 blacks and you're trying to get like a Ruby Link,
yep,
and you want it, you have a 5% chance of it getting stolen by somebody who has a Scarlet Knight. So like that one would immune you from Scarlet Steel. Or Dawn Solace, once you were done with that, it would not immune you from that, but it would give you a decrease in your upkeep fees and your claim tax.
Got it. And do we know
That's why there's only one of each.
And so you're not going to be able to buy this. You have to win these. That's what it's
No, you have to win these.
Yeah, you have to win these. Okay. Yep. Is there more? Go for it.
Yeah, there's Scarlet Knights is the bottom one, I think.
Here we go. Scarlet Knights.
That's the one that lets you go.
All right, so these will be able to be RNG RNG chance minted through Sacrificial Chain Vault Dusk or Dawn.
Yeah, RNG is the random number generator.
Yep. Are they using like Chainlink, or what are they using to do the random number generator? Or is that? No worries. All chains enhancers will be tradable NFTs except for Scarlet. So you can sell these then, I guess. They're tradable.
Yeah. So if you won 2 Ruby Links, if you put in the vaults and you happen to win 2 Ruby Links, you can't. Both 2 Ruby Links won't work, so you can put it on the Midnight Trades, which is their NFT trading platform, and you could sell it.
So what if I bought a Full Moon and I had a Dawn Solace? So then I'd have both.
It won't.
Only one will work.
Oh, gotcha.
It won't let you hold it in your wallet. And I think those 2, there's I don't know, one of them, maybe it's Scarlet Knights that you can't sell. One of them you can't sell.
Okay.
Scarlet Knights is the only one you can't sell, but if you get 2 of the same, if you get a Dawn's Night and a Full Moon, only one of them is going to work. I don't know which one works, but probably the first one you had, but they said you could have multiple ones, but only one's going to work in your wallet. So if you bought a Full Moon, you already have a Dawn Soul, it's only one of them's going to work.
Thank you, Johan. And I want to get both of you guys' opinion after. We've got 2 more pages, guys. Sacrificial Chain Vaults. In passive income isn't rewarding enough for you, we also have developed the Sacrificial Chain Vaults. You need a degree to understand all this. Are you willing to sacrifice everything to have built everything you have built? Are you prepared to burn and earn? There will be 2 separate Sacrificial Chain Vaults you will be able to use, named Dawn and Dusk. Isn't that from a movie, Dawn and Dusk? Oh, you know what that's from? Dawn and Dusk. God, what is that show? It's on HBO. Oh man, I know it.
Dusk Till Dawn?
Oh no, there's a show, Brother Dusk, Brother Dawn. Fuck, I'll remember. Sorry. Let me get back to the crypto.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it though.
Yeah, it's the Empire. Empire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good show actually. I really like that show.
There's Dusk, Dawn, and Day.
Yes. See, somebody knows my craziness. All right. So thank you, Joe. At least somebody else understands what I'm saying. To enter Sacrificial Chain Vaults, you will first need to pass the test. No, I'm just kidding. You will first need to make the Scarlet offering by putting in a combination of any 3 eligible Scarlet chains. So basically, you have to put 3 nodes in, and you go into the vault and you try to win. It sounds like gambling. When you initiate the Scarlet offering, the sacrifice begins. During the sacrifice, all 3 Scarlet chains you offered will be burnt to a crisp. Once the sacrifice is complete, it is time for Scarlet reincarnation. You will be rewarded with a single new Scarlet Chains asset. This will be more of a value, but also may be worth less than what you sacrificed. Without risk comes no reward. That's true. When you input your selected Scarlet nodes as assets to be sacrificed, the D app will show you what your potential reward might be. Oh, that's helpful. To be clear, once you have entered a Sacrificial Vault and initiated the Scarlet offering, you will lose the assets, and there is no way to reverse the function. So once you're in, guys, you are done. Users will only have the chance of having their reincarnated Scarlet nodes assets stolen with Scarlet Knights in the Dust Vault at time of mint. Okay. Liquidity Inflows, Nitro Network, Current, Twilight, Everlast Harvest, Planned, Cardinal. To assist the pricing stability of Scar, there will be multiple sources of liquidity inflow, which is great. This means that there are to be sources outside of Scarlet Chains that will assist with building the liquidity pool. So the sustainability of Scarlet Chains doesn't need to rely on the solely new investors. That is good. That I was waiting for something like this. There will be FAQ in the D app to help frequently asked questions. Okay, so now I want to ask two people, since they know more about this than the rest of us. Let's go ahead and talk with Johan. Johan, what is your strategy for this? We'd love to understand it.
Yeah, I'm just going to compound. So if you go to SC Theory in the Discord channel inside of R&D, I think it was Dad Does Crypto or one of the administrators developed a really nice tool you can utilize. You can put in how much you're going to start with or how many you're going to buy, and then you can do the compound and figure out the upkeep cost. And you can figure out your best strategy for how you want to work it, but you can just plug in numbers and really mess around with it. It's a really great tool. If you go to SC Theory in the pinned, you'll be able to get that Excel document.
So where's it under?
Go to the channel.
SC Theory.
It's in the Scarlet chain. See at the bottom, SC Game Theory.
Boom.
And then hit the pinned.
Boom.
Go to pinned. There it is.
This is
right
it?
There.
Oh, it's a YouTube.
No, below it. Where is it?
This? Google Sheet.
Yes,
here.
click on that. That's it. That's Google Sheet right
All right,
there.
let me share
that
with
thing
you.
Is what you want to utilize, and you can't download it into. Just make a copy of it. And you actually have to do it on Google Excel. If you try to do it on Excel, a lot of the formulas don't work out, so you actually have to do it on the Google Sheet, not an Excel sheet, which is fine. You'll just copy that and utilize that. But you can plug in, even if you have a VIP, all that stuff you can plug in. You can figure out what your upkeep costs. You can really maximize your gains from messing around with it.
Got it. So guys, when you do this, you want to go ahead and click File, make a copy, and that's what you can edit. You're not going to be able to edit this, okay? So you want to make a copy right here under File. Got it? So you're just going to focus on creating some of these nodes. Are you going to try to go for some of these NFTs and burn your nodes to...
Yeah. I already have a Redlight link, so eventually I'm not going to do that until I get full wallets. I want to try to race to get full wallets and try to get, because there's only 100 of the Dawn Solace and Full Moon. So once those are out, I don't know if they're going to replenish them or not. They haven't really spoke about that. I asked them about it, and they weren't sure what they were going to do. They were going to play it by ear. So if you're one of the first 100 to get max wallet, then you have an option to either choose Dawn Solace or Dawn Solace and Full Moon. So that's going to be my. But then you always risk the thing of something happens, and they have a lot of liquidity inflows. But if something happens, and it's going to take me 3 months to do that, there's a chance that you lose out on money. But I'm hoping, I feel confident with the team that they know what they're doing, that they're going to be supplying quite a bit of money from the outside inflows to supplement that. But that's a risk I'm willing to take.
All right. So guys, this is launching, the chain is launching tomorrow, okay? So if you're going to...
No, the chain's not launching tomorrow.
Okay.
No, sorry, not the chain, the to buy the token, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, sorry about that. My apologies. So guys,
the chain might be launching on Sunday or Monday. We're waiting for the 24. They said 24-hour delay, so we'll get some more information tomorrow when that Scarlet chain is going to launch. The migration is going to happen. Got it.
So there's 2 or 3 places to buy it. This one is probably the most easiest, is what I've heard. I'm going to go ahead and link this again for you guys. 6 a.m. is when it starts. You're going to need to go make an account, verify your ID, do all that stuff. Depending how much money you want to buy, you're going to need USDT is what I've been told. That's correct?
Yeah, and XT, I KYC'd in about 10 minutes.
Perfect.
So they were like, boom, you're done. So it's fast.
So guys, this is why we didn't do a Sensei chat today on that. We did this because it's launching tomorrow. Redlight does have 20. See, this is what I like to look at, guys, is how many people in the Discord, how many people on their Twitter, right? So they have about, 20,000 people in their Discord, 21,302. So they have an all right sized community. Let's go ahead and look at Twitter here. On my private messages, Redlight Finance, 26,000 followers. So that's been growing. I've been following that. Where is, I'd love to see the holders of Redlight, see how many there are. Does anybody have...
If you go to their website, it tells you the holders across all platforms on their website.
Oh, that's freaking helpful.
Since you didn't ask Steven, I'm curious what his strategy is.
I didn't know.
Yes,
I didn't know how Steven had a strategy.
Is.
Steven, hit me with your strategy, please.
I'm going over with a Max wallet, and like Johan, I have a Redlight link as well. So when I go over, all the people that were in R&D before and have mansions, districts, and cities, and R&D or Playmate tokens in their wallet, get to migrate over. There's a ratio chart over in the Discord that you can use to figure out what you can turn your stuff into when you go over. So basically, a Max wallet goes over, turns you into 7 red, 5 scarlet, 5 platinum, and 2 black when I go over.
When is this happening for this? When is the Scarlet Notes happening?
They were thinking about doing it the same day as the launch of Red LC, and they're gonna bump it back 24 hours, focus on the Red LC, and then launch. And then they want to launch the Scarlet Chains right after that. They have everything planned to be up and operational by the end of the month.
Here's a question. Here's a question that maybe you guys can answer. Are these nodes going to be supporting the network? Or are these just a totally separate thing?
No.
Okay, this is a totally different.
Separate. This has nothing to do with Red LC or the Redlight.
Got it.
Zero.
So, guys, to be clear,
like I said, this is a project that Indy wanted to do.
Got it.
To reward the holders of this, and then of the R&D.
Got it. So, guys, if you're in the passive income type situation where you're like, hey, I got some money, I want to invest, rather than putting it into a DeFi project right now that could go to nothing, here's another project that learned a whole lot from their first project, and they are putting it to work in their second iteration of the nodes, which is all of this. So I'm going to go ahead and share this in case you want to go over it with yourself. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to ask or say on the matter that we can get into or talk about as a group here?
And I'm curious how high Red LC is going to go. I know there's going to be a pump and dump.
Yeah.
I don't know how high. I think it's going to settle around. My guess is it's going to settle around $3 or $4, but it's probably going to shoot up. I don't know, 6, 7, then dump down to that. I don't know. But then I thought R&D was going to shoot up till 6 or 7, and then go back down to 2, 3. And that thing shot up till 17, 18, then went down to 6, and then went up to 30. So who knows?
So guys, you definitely want to be careful here. Do not buy at the top. If you can get in right when it drops and you can buy a nice bag, depending what you want to do, if you're going to be a long time holder and supporter, or if you're here just to make some money, there's a good opportunity here. You're going to have a lot of buying pressure right at the start. So if you can get in, get a bag, 100%, 200%, sell it. You can make some quick money. Or if you're going to hold long term, do that. I'm selling at the top and buying back at the bottom. LV, that is bullish as F. I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm going to give you a little frogman too here. Cool, man. Cool, guys. That is Redlight. They have built, they're one of the projects that is still around 6 months later, right? You look at 100 DeFi projects, you get 5 or 10 that make it through. This is one of them. They were able to take the money and build something that could be extremely successful. I wanted to get the information to you guys because it's very important, and everyone has the same opportunity now to either buy in or not participate. It is all up to you. Johan, anything else you would like to add? Or Steven, anything else that you guys would like to add that you think is of value to the community?
No, we have a lot of stuff upcoming. I know Cardinal is also Liquidity Inflow, but I guess it's going to be their stable coin that's going to be able to be lent out. Similar, it's going to be very similar to DAI. Nitro is very similar to Helium. I know they have 360 or 70 NFTs that have already, they got to have over a couple billion tokens now of that. That's going to be a liquidity inflow. That's going to be taken off soon. And then I know they talked about, what's the other one? A Pandora box. That's going to be, I'm trying to remember, it's not the credit card. It's something that's going to be able to trade fiat, real world fiat, to transfer it at a low cost, like a Western Union style, I think is what Indy said in one of the AMAs. So that could generate quite a bit of revenue too if it takes off. And that'll be a liquidity inflow as well. So there's a lot of cool stuff they have in the pipeline or that they're working on.
This guy's spending your tax money on Gucci scarves. Love it. Chief financial. So they're like, hey guys, we need some older person to go ahead and anchor the project. So they hired this guy. Chief Finance Officer. Joe has 35 years of experience. Great. Fantastic.
Yes.
Indy's known Joe for a long time.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Joe.
Indy's a huge businessman. He's got like a...
Which one's Indy?
Like 100 employees. Leo.
Oh, this
Leo
is Indy.
Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah, and he helped them incorporate into Dubai. So they're incorporated right now in Dubai, Singapore, and Australia right now.
Yep. Correct.
I mean, for all the holders and the potential holders, I hope this is extremely successful. If the chain launches and there's issues, it's going to be a huge problem. But if the chain launches and it's flawless, guys, don't see why projects are not going to want to come and list on something like this, where they're not going to have to worry about fees and other things like that. Very close soon here with this Near Protocol, all these layer 2s. Ethereum, I think, Ethereum won't be the king in the next 5-6 years, I don't think. I think there's going to be other things that take over. I really want to see what the audit looks like, man. I just want to see what the audit said about the project. But
I was hoping to see that too. He said he passed with flying colors, but he needs to redact some of it. And I don't know why he hasn't got around to it. So I wanted to see that posted and have you guys go through it to take a look to see what you guys thought.
Sleeping, Johan. I know
they're not.
It's ridiculous.
I know. That Alex, man, never sleeps. I see 24/7, dude. He's like posting stuff constantly, and I don't know if he ever sleeps.
We all have to sleep sometime, guys. Trust me. Anyways. All right. That is it in a nutshell, guys. The information is now in your hands. You have everything that you need to make your own financial decisions. I personally are probably just going to buy some of the chain and hold on to it for long term. If this is successful and they get to 30, 40, 50, 100 projects, this is going to go for sure. It's just one of those things that it's crypto, right? You never know what's going to happen. It's always a gamble. I really want to see the freaking audit, man. I really want to see. The audit tells you a lot of different things of what's going on with the chain, right? That's going to tell you if there's any issues with the blockchain as far as blocks produced, things like that. I really want to see. Here, let me show you. This is an audit for XOFI, right? Let me show you this. So this is the audit that we did for XOFI. So the audit's going to tell you a ton of stuff, right? So here's your table of contents. I'm sure if you've all looked at an audit, but this is really where it's going to tell you, right? Finding summary, total, high. See, like you want to see high, medium, or low. See that these could be issues. These are all the contracts. So it does tell you a ton of stuff. And then this is really the meat and potatoes of an audit, really, when you can see how things are working on the chain and what issues are found. I really have never heard of a project blocking things in an audit. That's strange. I guess there's certain technology in the audit or some code in the audit that they don't want out yet. But as you can see, a full audit is pretty extensive, guys, and it goes over a lot of stuff. That's just giving you an example of what an audit looks like. So, all right, fun stuff. Since we have 20-something people here, is there anything else going on besides Redlight that you guys are bullish on, that you guys maybe want to bring up or talk about? Hit me with it. Anything at all.
DAG's on sale right now.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I love DAG. Where's my DAG here? Lattice Exchange. If you are not on Lattice, you should be on it. Sign in. Oh, wait, hold on. I need to sign into this. Where is it at? God, this is it. My password's not showing, thank God. I logged onto my other thing the other day. Yeah, I'm sitting. This used to be such a better number. 953,000 DAG in my wallet here, and I got some on KuCoin. But anyways, guys, that's it in a nutshell. Same song and dance. I personally, guys, over the next day or two, I'm going to get some rest. I'm exhausted. I haven't taken a day off since the beginning of the month. I'm beat down and tired right now. I couldn't even get out of bed this morning. I need a rest. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. Everything is on sale, guys. And so if you have not been paying attention to all the stuff I've been posting in the community about the market, there's a lot of really smart people, including the guy that called the housing crisis, the subprime mortgage crisis in 2008. He's betting against the market right now. He's very bearish. Yeah, quant, if you're going to buy something and hold long-term, quant is probably, quant and Overledger, oh my God, what? Quant is like king, right? Hold on, let me see. Images. Yeah, here you go. This is what you need to be looking at. All right, check this out, guys. This is quant. If you don't know what quant is, wait, did I do a Sensei chat on quant? I thought I did, like months ago. Maybe I'll do a Sensei chat for Friday for quant just to refresh everybody. But this is quant, guys. Overledger OS, right? As you can see, everything runs through it. Quant is a 5-digit token over the next 5 years, guys. That is just my personal opinion. I'm not a financial advisor, but look, R3 and Corda, right? R3 here is going to be supporting crypto blockchain payment could be for central banks and everything. Hyperledger, this is Ripple. And then you have what? Like here's Stellar, here's Tezos, VeChain, XRP, all of these baskets right here, Cardano, Constellation, Ethereum, all of it eventually is going to go through here. This is a very big deal. You got eBay, is that Google, Instagram, Discord, all of this. This is just a ticking time bomb, guys. JP Morgan, Citibank, Santander, Credit Suisse, Barclays. some of the biggest players on the planet. Quant is not to be messed with. Oh, I should follow this person. I am following. Nice. Okay, that is the whole ball of wax. As you can see, I didn't even get to do my hair today because I am that tired. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.